Daddy Sanders, Daddy Bernie Sanders gets a high-profile endorsement. This is Groundhog's Day. I've done this video once before, but that last video apparently got a copyright strike. Not a major one, just a minor one, but enough of one where that video is going to never be seen again. So, Groundhog's Day. Daddy Bernie Sanders gets a high-profile, very influential endorsement. Welcome to the Soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. This is a Groundhog's Day. I hate doing videos more than one time, but at the point where YouTube struck that last video and I wanted this video to be done, here we are again. A influential, high profile, Cardi B. Now, in the last video, I showed a video of Cardi B that was pretty, I guess, rather lewd. And I kind of made this argument about free the nipple. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep this video very specific since I did the last video once before. But high profile endorsement. Cardi B has come out throwing her support behind Bernie Sanders. Now, in 2016, she came out with support for Sanders, saying we need to support Daddy Sanders. Essentially, she's throwing her support behind Daddy Sanders. This year, she comes out with a tweet. I've been reading about Bernie Sanders, and I'm really sad how we let him down in 2016. This man has been fighting for equal rights, human rights, for such a long time. Seeing this country become a better place has been really his passion for a long time, not new in the campaign. Now, that's awesome. Now, I wasn't going to do this video originally. I saw this, and I'm a jaded political SOB, and I said, that's interesting, and I moved on. I don't think I even put it in my Twitter list. My Twitter list is essentially where I kind of go through and shuffle my thoughts. But my wife was like, dude, you got to do that video. You got to do that video. And this is one of those occasions where Mrs. Thomas, I think, is right. Art, society's changed, but more than just kind of political argument. Art has a massive impact on this. I've made this argument on more than one occasion, so I should have seen the logic in what Mrs. Thomas was telling me a little earlier. If you think back to Harlem Renaissance, Negroes in vogue, with this notion of this put-down population was all of a sudden seen as, artists, thinkers. Oh my God, these people, they can write, they can think. They're just like us. Regardless of the political rhetoric, the thing that really digs it home, it's not me beating you over the head with it, is when you can, to some degree, experience that person's reality. And the thing that gets that across is art. Artists matter. Now, nowadays, less so, because, for the most part, this stuff is nonsense. But it still matters, especially from the standpoint of influence and the ability to get across a particular political perspective to various people within a particular demographic that is not overtly political. That matters. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is considered a rapist now, but back before people knew he was raping women, The Cosby Show. African-American dad, doctor, wife, lawyer, and amazing fucking kids. Oh my God, their families are like ours. And what do you know from the standpoint of the other side of the aisle, though? From an African-American standpoint, you have all these African-Americans that started going to school as a response to what they were seeing from the standpoint of art. Art matters. I mean, and I make this argument, this goes both ways. This cuts both ways. Being bad shit has influences, but also positive stuff. My point to this is less so about the art part and more so about the influence part, in saying that we may not fully pay attention to what's going on in that particular world, but the fact that this particular demographic, which is a younger demographic, and they can be somewhat flaky from the standpoint of the polls, having somebody in that demographic who is not overtly political saying, go to the polls and vote for Sanders, matters. Now, Sanders responded to her in this. Thank you, I am Cardi B. Our fight for justice is far from over, and we're not giving up. Interesting side tidbit, and I showed the video that showed Sanders talking about it. He made the point that Cardi B is on it. She's sharp, she knows her stuff, she knows her politics. He said we spoke. I made a point in the last video that if you are one Bernie Sanders, you should do more than just talking to Cardi B. You should ensure that she is doing something in regards to your campaign. If you are doing that, you are negligent. I've said this on a few points. When those Hispanics went to Joe Biden and started screaming at him because he deported 3 million people, if those Hispanics weren't sent there by one Bernie Sanders, you were not doing your job. And some people, it's like, oh, Jamarl, that's horrible. I can't believe you're saying it. Your job is to win the presidency. Your job is to win. When Joe Biden was standing there, if you notice, Joe Biden, he just took it. He says, yeah, you guys don't want my answer. They didn't want his answer. Joe Biden knew they didn't want his answer because he didn't have an answer. You deported 3 million people. That you've done it. We're here to hit you for it. Now, whether somebody sent them there to hit him for it, or whether, they're just there to hit him for it, either way, Joe Biden knows, I just got to take it. I need to find the most favorable look that I can take from a political disposition in this particular moment and just take it. And that's what he did. I'll talk to each of you individually if you would like, but you screaming at me like banshees is not going to get anything across. My point is, these people should be marshaled to your aid. They should be marshaled to your aims. And I don't even think you should do it overtly. Sometimes the best thing in the world is when it's not necessarily being screamed that you're doing this in an overt way. Just saying. Shout out to Cardi B. I'm putting a link to her video at the bottom, despite them copyright striking me. I'm putting a link to them at the bottom. I guess it could have been worse. They could have taken down my entire channel. But shout out. Thanks all. Have a good one.